Hey, how's it going? I hope you're having a beautiful day today. I wanted to talk a bit about why it's so hard to conquer your addictions. Now, this could be any addiction: drugs, alcohol, pornography, gambling, really anything that you might be addicted to that you're having a hard time quitting. So, I came up with this little illustration. We have dopamine up and down. You have your brain right here. This is the level of dopamine in your brain. Okay, and then the time here, that's the amount of time that's passed, right? This little line here is your baseline. This is where you start. So say you're addicted to drugs, whatever your drug of choice might be. You're chilling here at baseline at first, right? You're just going do do do, and then you hit your drug. You hit whatever drug and it goes, you go up. You're feeling good, you're happy, you're hitting dopamine. You're like, this is a pleasurable experience, right? And then that drug wears off. And this is what happens. You crash. What goes up must come back down. So you go down. And now you're in negative. You're in negative dopamine territory right here. Okay? You've crashed. And usually, at least for me personally, after you hit this high, you go down, you crash, and it doesn't matter what you're addicted to. This happens to any addiction. You go down, you crash, you keep going, you keep going. Notice how it's lasting longer than the high. Okay? And your brain is right here at this point. Your brain is saying, I don't want this. I was feeling great yesterday or whatever. Now I'm feeling like total crap. So I need to make this better. So what do? You hit your drug of choice again. And this is what happens. You go up. You go up. Maybe not as high. Maybe not as high. You know? You stay high for a little bit, and then what happens? You drop back down. You go back down. And now you're low again. And low for longer. And you're like, damn. Oh man, your brain's like, oh man, I need to get out of this red zone. This red zone sucks. And so what do? You do it again. Except this time, hold on, that was bad. You do it again, except this time, it's even lower. It's not as good. So you need more drug. You need more drug, right? You crash again. And this time you're like, man, you binge. You hit a binge, so now you're up again. Up for a little bit, back down. And so on and so forth. And it's just constant up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. That's an addiction. Whether it's drugs, alcohol, pornography, gambling, whatever you're addicted to. Hold on. Coffee addiction break. Dang, that's good. You know what? I'm going to take another sip. Anyways, so that is what happens when you're engaging in your addiction. When you're engaging in your addictive behavior, you're going to be spending a lot of time in the red, and you're going to be trying all the time to get back into the green, right? You're trying to get that dopamine. But remember, what comes up must come back down. So, say instead, we're in an active addiction, right? And we're high up, down, you know? And then you decide, I'm going to quit. So now you're down here, and this is where you decide, I'm going to quit. You're at rock bottom, whatever might have happened, right? I quit. Now your brain is screaming at you, I'm in the red. I need to get out of this red back into the green. And the only thing I know how to get out of the red into the green is my addiction. And so now you're feeling like crap. And you don't know how to deal with it. And all these feelings start surfacing. All these feelings that you've been pushing in, that you've been numbing, they're starting to surface. And you're at a low energy level. Well, what happens if you stick to it and actually quit and don't do it again, well, this is what happens. You stay in the red. You stay in the red. You're still in the red. See how it's slowly going back up? You're still in the red. It takes time. It is difficult. Okay? Maybe you start working out. You start doing something healthy. Well, working out is hard. So while you're working out, you might go, oh, dang, this is kind of hard. Drop down a little bit. But if you keep it up and you become satisfied with your results, you become satisfied with the way you feel afterwards, this is what happens. It gives you a boost. Now, it doesn't give you a huge boost like drugs do or your addiction does, but it does boost you up. So you work out again. Oh, whoa. You work out again. Oh, whoa. It is slow and steady, okay? That's why it's called delayed gratification. While you're in the red, you're suffering. It's horrible. And you might be in the red for a while. But it will slowly but surely go back up to baseline, okay? And if you have a purpose in your life, if you found God or whatever might give you meaning and purpose, it can launch you, say, working out. Well, now I'm addicted to working out, so I'm going up because I'm working out. And now, let me get rid of all this, just pretend it continued on. Oops. And now, you're here, you're finally at baseline after however long it freaking took, and you're working out, you're doing healthy things, you're running a business, whatever. You're becoming successful. Now, look at you. You're staying in the green. You're staying... It's not like drugs where you're like that. You know, it's not intense. But look, you're in the green. Your dopamine's happy. You're feeling better. You're getting confidence. You're going, oh, dang, you know, I can do this. I can do this. I can. Right? That's what happens when you quit. Now, let's say the opposite happens. Let me see if I can... Oh, no. Okay. Let's say the opposite happens, right? You're doing drugs, you're going down, you're going up, you're going down, you're going up, you're going down, you quit. You're down here, you quit. Slowly going up because you quit. You're not doing it anymore. You're in the red, you're in the red, you're in the red. At a certain point, this is why people relapse. You can't take it anymore. You're like, man, I need something. I don't know what to do with myself. I need something to get me out of this rut. And so you relapse. And you're high. You're like, yeah, dude, this is awesome. But then you're right back in the cycle. You're right back in the cycle. Right back. Okay? I'm hoping this is making sense. Right now, if you're in an addiction, you're in a hole. You're in a hole. You're stuck in this hole. You're trying to climb out, but it's hard. It's not easy. But eventually, with enough time and effort, you do. Well, that was a horrible arrow. Let me try that again. You do make it out, and then you end up here on a mountain, on a hill, going up. Now, you're not going to be constantly going up, obviously, because life is unpredictable. Terrible things happen in life when you least expect it, when you didn't do anything wrong, you know? And so, I hope you didn't see that. Anyways, and so basically, say you quit, you're going up. Oh no, something bad happened. Oh, damn, now I'm in the red again. That's also where relapses happen. You have to recognize when you're in the red, and you have to be able to know when you're about to relapse. You know, you have to be able to, like, come up with a game plan to stop yourself from relapsing, because you know it's going up. And what I would recommend is moving your body, taking action, doing something. Because if you're sitting around, like they say, idle time is the devil's time. If you're sitting around, you're gonna want to engage in your addictions. But if you're working out, if you're going to lift weights, if you're going to run, if you're going to ground in the forest, if you're going to whatever it is that involves moving your body, riding a bike, going on a skateboard, that will help. Moving your body, that will help. I hope that made sense, and I hope that made you think a little more about your addiction and what's going on within you. Because this is at least what it's like for me. Right now, I'm probably right about here. I'm still in it, man. I'm still rough. It's not that I want to relapse. It's that I'm struggling with feeling my feelings, because for the longest time, once you get sober, all of your feelings start bubbling up to the surface that you've been repressing for who knows how long. For me, it was like almost a decade. And so I'm like processing all of this emotion in the red. But after you process it, at least I hope, I'm still in the phase where I'm processing it. But after you process it, you take little steps. You take little steps. And boom, you're back at baseline. You're back at green. You're not thinking about getting high at this point, because you're already high on life. So, just something to think about. I hope that explanation made some sense. If it didn't, at least I thought I helped. Yeah, anyways, I hope you guys have a good one. I hope you know that you're loved, and I hope you know that you can do it, and that I'm proud of you, and that no matter what happens, you got to keep your head straight, because life is crazy and it's tough and horrible things will happen to you, but it's all about the way you handle it. You do not want to be going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down all your life, because by the time you're 40 years old, by the time you're 50 and you've been living a life like that, it's gonna suck. So that's it. I hope you guys have a good one.